Birding the Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. Check out thepalmbeaches.tv to learn more. This morning I'm at Art by Nature Garden Center in northern Palm Beach County, and today we're going to introduce you to a very special bird that has a close association with humankind. Let's go birding the Palm Beaches. Palm Beach County is one of the largest and most eco-diverse counties in all of Florida, and the Palm Beaches are a paradise of never-ending outdoor activities and things to do and see. An unmatched landscape of first-rate birding, incredible wildlife management areas, year-round fishing, a multitude of water sports, and exceptional beaches make this the best place to experience Florida. From the Everglades to the Atlantic Ocean, you are sure to find things to do that will stoke your passions and make lasting memories. Here in the Palm Beaches, birding and wildlife viewing is a big deal, even bigger than you might imagine. In fact, birding is second only to beach-related activities as a form of outdoor recreation for both visitors and residents. If you're already into birding, you probably know that Florida and Palm Beach County is considered one of the best places in the world for this activity. South Florida is a birding mecca, from the colorful and distinctive natural populations of wading birds to the specialties like Florida scrub jays and red-cockaded woodpeckers, combined with the winter migration of flocks from up north. Palm Beach County is truly a birdwatcher's paradise. You don't always need to be in a wild area to enjoy birding in Palm Beach County. This morning I'm with Tim Wayland, and we're at a garden center in North Palm Beach. What's so special about this garden center?
Well, among many things, I would say that our colony of purple martins.
Well, this is a perfect example of how you can go birding anywhere in Palm Beach County. You can go birding from your home, you can go out into the Everglades, you can bird the coastline, and you can even bird a garden center. Purple martins are the largest swallow in North America, and the name purple martin is a little bit of a misnomer because they're not actually purple, they're more this dark, sort of glossy blue color, the males, and then the females are a lot more drab. They're kind of like a brownish color with a whitish belly. And long distance migrators, these birds, so every year they'll come back here in late January, they'll spend the entire summer here, and then they'll move and they'll congregate in a huge flock, and they'll then make their way all the way down to South America, to the Amazon basin, where they'll spend the winter and then repeat that cycle again the following year. And you're seeing those early birds in January, late January. Those are normally the older purple martins that have nested for a few seasons already. They'll be the first birds to come back. The birds from the previous year will take about 2 to 3 weeks before they'll start coming in, the birds that have just been hatched from the previous year. So that'll be their first trip back to their native area, and they will follow those older birds about 2 to 3 weeks later. Right now we've got a great accumulation of them. We're now in March and they're all flying around their houses. In the mornings they'll get ready for the day's activities and then they'll fly out. And these are birds that do everything on the wing. So when they're out there, they're hunting larger insects like dragonflies and mayflies, And then they're also drinking on the wing. So when they get thirsty, they're going to go down to a nice lake or a pond, and they're going to skim that water with their lower bill, and that's how they drink in flight. And then at dusk, they'll come back to their houses and spend the night in the safety of their apartments. So how long have you been doing this, Tim, and why?
Our colony here is 10 years old. The reason that I do it is to share what I think is a very unusual opportunity for anybody to experience authentic wildlife. And this nature is so readily observable if you have a good purple martin house, and frankly, if you can raise and lower that house. So then you can look inside. What's special about these birds is that when we look inside, and as long as we're gentle and respectful, the birds will not abandon the nest. About 2 months in, they will have completed their nests. I would expect that by the end of March, we'll have probably 75 eggs. Once they start popping, it's like popcorn. And we've got a lot of active nests. We have a lot of healthy birds. And it'll continue into April. I expect that by the end of April, we'll have maybe somewhere around 160, maybe 175 eggs that will have been laid here. Last year, through the course of the season, we had 217. So 15 days of incubation. Almost always they will hatch within 1 to 2 days of each other, and then 28 days of very, very rapid growth.
And it's amazing how there's been this incredible relationship between purple martins and humankind over the years. In fact, the history between humans and purple martins goes right back to the beginnings of America as we know it today. So Native Americans and the first Americans of this country actually used to put up gourds as houses for purple martins long before the first European settlers arrived. And now, because of that relationship over these years, which was then carried on by the generation of John James Audubon and beyond, these birds in eastern North America now are almost entirely reliant on these nesting houses. There's a small population of purple martins on the west coast, and those birds are entirely reliant on natural tree cavities like woodpecker holes. The eastern birds entirely reliant on houses like these, and the western birds still on their native nesting holes. Birding the Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. Check out thepalmbeaches.tv to learn more. Less than a month, these birds from being totally helpless, featherless, blind, what we call altricial in birds, when they need all the help and support from their parents, in 28 days they're going from that helpless little baby to that. Quite phenomenal, and that's because of that protein-rich diet of insects that they're getting stuffed down their gullets every single day. Awesome. Should we go look at a nest?
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
So, Tim, we're going to pull this down and look inside, correct?
We sure will.
We have Jada, our junior birder, here to help us lower this down today. Jada, go ahead.
This is a house that is made by the Amish up in Indiana. It's a great house. It's very well made. There are 8 compartments in here. We might point out that these all have what are called starling exclusionary openings. And there are 2 birds that can be a nuisance to purple martin landlords, the starling and the house sparrow. Mm-hmm. And just by the shape of this opening, it will exclude starlings. Have at it, Jada. So we have to do our nest checks today, and this is our D house, and this is D2 here. On Tuesday, when we last looked in here, we had a completed nest. What has happened since?
Wow.
Wow,
3 eggs. Look at that.
Man, oh man. 3 eggs. Check out this nest. It's typical that there are 4 to 6 eggs in a clutch. Sometimes it is 2, sometimes it's 3. We have seen 7, and 8 have been reported. We've never seen that, but almost always 4 to 6. And the mother lays an egg at dawn, 1 at a time, and they don't skip a day. So once they start to lay, it's continuous. And that makes it easy for us, because we're doing these regular nest checks, to figure out when the first lay day was. We also see that there is this circular arrangement of twigs, and it's remarkable that this 2-ounce bird can bring in the sticks and things that are equal to its weight. Then they will gather leaves, often green leaves, because they have some aseptic properties to them. So it helps with the hygiene of the birds and the adults. Just lift it up and put it in very gently, just straight on in there. Push it back as far as it will. Sometimes sticks get in the way, and let her drop down. Good. So, as you know, it goes up first, like this, up and back down. Boom, perfect.
Brilliant.
That's it.
Okay.
And now we crank it back up. You're almost there. Going up, 2nd floor.
So remember, if you're in the vicinity, stop by Art by Nature Garden Center and check out the purple martins. We're going to come back in a couple of weeks to check out the hatchlings. Thanks so much, Tim. It was great. We'll see you in a few weeks.
I sure enjoyed it. Thank you, James.
Welcome. Birding the Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. Check out thepalmbeaches.tv to learn more. Well, it's been 3 weeks and we're back at Art by Nature Garden Center. Tim, what have we got here?
Well, the great thing about purple martins is that they allow us to look inside. I mean, we have enjoyed the acrobatic flying over the last month or 2, but now we can look inside and we can see what changes have occurred in the last 3 weeks. So we've continued to do semi-weekly nest checks, and we know that in this gourd there are some very young hatchlings. And there they are.
Wow.
There they are. Beautiful little atricial young.
They must be like a day old.
These are
they're tiny.
Yes, probably 2 days old.
2 days old.
2 days
Wow.
old. Yep. In fact, yesterday when we did our nest check, we found that there were 4 young and 1 egg. So one is a day old.
A day old. Wow. And when Tim says they're altricial, that means that they're totally dependent on the parents for their survival. They're born helpless, blind, and they need to be fed. So the only kind of instinct that they have right now is to open up those bills and get whatever food is stuffed inside by the adults.
In this gourd, we have put GoPros over the last week or so. Hopefully we captured some video of hatching.
And probably the parents coming in to feed maybe as well.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt, yep.
Great.
And all of the tumult that is caused by the 4 nest mates that are in there, because they just continue to tumble over each other.
Trying to get at that food.
Trying to get at that food, yeah, exactly. Trying to get the best position.
It's quite amazing how the parents are bringing in these giant dragonflies that they seem to be feeding on at the moment, and they're stuffing those into those tiny little mouths.
If we look closely at these hatchlings, we see that their bills are oversized compared with the rest of their body, and they're also distinctly white-lined, which I believe allows the adults to target them better.
And to get that, in the darkness, get that food into the bill.
That's it, just to jam it right in. It takes until they are ready to fledge before Their bills seem to be in proportion with the rest of their body. Gita, what surprises me is that over our 10 years of having purple martins, these two gourds are the ones that have attracted all the attention in 10 years. This one is expandable, where a second box of 6 can be put on the left side. It's amazing how quickly they grow. I mean, from hatching.
Wow, look at that.
From hatching to being able to fly in 28 days, and here they are a little more than halfway through development.
Halfway through, 16 days.
Right,
Wow.
right.
So you can see how quickly they develop. In just 16 days, they've gone from these altricial, helpless little babies to their eyes open, very developed, and that's because of the protein-rich diet that they're fed on. Those insects are very, very high in protein, very rich, and look at the difference just 2 weeks makes.
So our records indicate that these are about 16 days old. We have these laminated photos of the birds and their development. Let's see how they do match up. So that's that one, and we still have a little bit white patches here. What I always find helpful is to look at the tail and to see how well developed it is, and the patterning. So it's really it's quite similar. I think that I think that we're on target here, saying that it's right in that area there. So I think we're at 16 days. Look at the down that is blowing in the wind here. They're beautiful little birds, huh?
Amazing. Well, fascinating stuff, Tim. We'll be back in about 2 weeks to see the fledgling birds, and hopefully we might even get to see a first flight. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Birding the Palm Beaches is brought to you by Discover the Palm Beaches. Check out thepalmbeaches.tv to learn more. We've been following the progress of these purple martins at the colony here at Art by Nature Garden Center. And it's been fascinating to watch the process right from laying the eggs through to the babies, and then they get bigger and bigger. And now we've come to the stage where it's fledging time. And this is where the babies will start to leave the nests and head out and begin their journey as young adult purple martins. We've had what, about 240, 250 young this year?
We've had that many eggs, and most of them have hatched, and this is my favorite time of year as a purple martin landlord, when we get to see the outcome of the whole season. And we have begun having fledging. We're here in the middle of May. By our records, about 10 birds have fledged already, but there are so many more inside these nest cavities that are ready to fly off.
Well, we should go and take a look. We're going to go to one of the nests where pretty much we're on 28 days right now at one of these nests, and hopefully we can see some of the youngsters poking their heads out and getting ready for their first flight. Let's take a look. So at fledging time, what we're going to see, if we had a camera inside one of the nests, is we'll see the young birds starting to exercise their wing muscles a lot. They'll start moving around in that nest a lot more. They'll preen their feathers instinctively a lot. So they start getting those feathers ready. And then when the youngsters are ready, they'll inch their way out of the nest hole. They'll sit on the edge and they'll start flapping and getting those wings ready. And then they'll take that first dive off, and hopefully they'll not hit the ground, rise up, and then probably perch somewhere, fly for a little bit. And then once those youngsters have taken that first flight, they'll generally stick around this area for about 2 to 3 weeks, and going in and out, coming back to the nest, flying around. And then for the next 4 weeks after that, they'll leave and they'll go to what's called a pre-migratory roost site. And that's where all the purple martins will gather, and they'll fatten up for the long journey down to South America. You know, obviously for these young purple martins, flight is going to be probably the most important aspect of their lives. These are incredibly agile hunters that need to twist and turn to catch their aerial prey. We're talking about dragonflies and insects and mayflies that are often high up in the sky and are pretty quick, and so they have to be super nimble, and they fly like fighter jets, banking, turning. They use their tails as rudders to stop and to turn in flight, and then those wings perfectly designed to cut through the air and just really get in effortlessly and grab those insects in those big bucket-like mouths. Well, we've got one of the youngsters in the nest that's about to fledge now, poking its head out, getting ready for that flight behind us over here. It's been totally fascinating watching the entire sort of life history of the young phase of this bird, the purple martin, right from nesting all the way through. It's amazing the work that you guys do here. Thank you so much for letting us be part of this. This is fascinating.
It really is a special opportunity for the public to enjoy true wildlife that's just so readily accessible.
Amazing work that you guys are doing here, Tim. It just goes to show you don't need to be in the wildest parts of Palm Beach County to experience the bird life and the magnificent wildlife around us. Remember, this is just a small part of birding the Palm Beaches.